Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I haven't picked this piece up for a few days because the French garden has just absorbed me. So I thought I'll just grab it and I'll nut out a few colours and maybe some flower designs for these hanging baskets, so that way I can just pop it near my chair and carry on. I sort of felt like I needed to come back and revisit the piece with you guys before I got too far ahead. So I've just threaded up a brown. Well, it's nearly a tanny brown. I'm just going to have a play with the basket. Is there a pin in under there? There is too. Oh, that'll be a challenge to get out. It's caught in there, so I'm going to have to unpick a little bit of work there to get to him. So that's pleasant for my hand. I wonder if I can get him out now, because it's right where I want to grab the piece. Okay, plan B has just kicked in. Get this pin out of here. Okay, he's very close now. You can see his head. Come on. Done. Excellent. That would have been a nasty surprise. Now, I'm wondering if I can do a little chain stitch. Be nice to have them feel like a chain. Why was that come unthreaded? Good on you. Stay threaded. Yep. That'll work. Yep. Instead of finishing it off like a lazy daisy, I'm just catching it again back where we started the first stitch. And that not only gets me the next stitch, but anchors off the stitch prior. If I can get the threads not to knot. I think this is an old cotton too, so it might give me a bit of grief. Yeah, it's going to. Gosh, I pick up this piece and the first thing I do is stab myself with a pin. Now I've got an old embroidery cotton, which appears to be knotting already. You wouldn't read about it, would you? See if I can get this knot out, or I have to start again. I think I might have got it. Bit of a twist there that turned into something it shouldn't. I think I saved it. Can I save the stitch is the question. Maybe I'll use a different needle. A little bit bigger eye on it. Why make it harder than it has to be? Now, where were we? It's completely come undone. Okay, take two. We start again. A tiny little stitch here I've got to tease out. Well, this is riveting. I probably should have just taken the piece to the couch, put on a movie, not worried about filming it, and just started stitching. The whole piece of cotton is just disintegrated. I'm just glancing over to it and it's not even an old thread. That's a new label. Look at that, 435. Okay, where's my needle? Let's start this again. It just broke. All right, we've got a dodgy piece of cotton here. There you go, it's not my skill level. It's the cotton, all right? We're going to blame the cotton. It's like it had a weak spot there and it twisted. All right, take two. Get rid of scraps. Cut a new piece. I took 3 strands. I think 3 is good because I want it to sort of have a bit of bulk about it. Otherwise the flowers will overpower. I got cotton in my mouth, that's why I sound funny. I think 3 strands will work because otherwise it will overpower the flowers. And I'd rather the flowers overpower the chain. Does that make sense? Because that often happens. See, another knot has formed. That's very odd. Okay. I bought some of that silicone or waxy stuff that you run thread through. I'm going to try it. I haven't even opened it to try it. Hold that thought. Magic thread it's called. Maybe this is a scenario where magic thread works. I just hope that doesn't stain the fabric, you know, put an oily residue. All right, let's give it a go. So we're back on. Pick up here. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can watch the excitement of a chain stitch, which really is a lazy daisy stitch, but continuous. There we go. Well, it certainly has made a difference. Yeah, 3 stitches is enough. Happy with that for the little chain. Two probably would have been a bit too fine. It would have looked delicate, but okay, so now we're at the top of the chain. We might head down this one side. Yep. That's working. That has made a difference. I hear the professional embroiderers refer to it all the time. They run their threads too, and it sort of has, like, it feels like the thread's just a little bit more together with the other fibres. I saw it at a quilting shop a couple months ago, and I grabbed it because it's not often in stock. And I said to the young lady behind the counter, you know, is it as good as everyone says? And she was like, oh yes. She said it makes all the difference for it shimmying through the fabric, and yeah, I've got to say it's pretty good. Now, will I continue on or leave a gap for a leaf? I'll continue on, because that way, if I do a leaf there, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm really getting a bit short. being a bit miserly. Might end it off. No need to be, you know. So we're getting ready for our next prompt. Exciting times. Okay. That's pretty good. Grab the other one. Maybe I'm a convert. Maybe I must slide it through the mystery white product in the little blue container. Especially if your thread feels like it's sort of jigging around a little bit, you know. I can certainly feel something has coated it. Let me know in the comments if you use it, or you're a fan of it or not a fan. Okay, and away we go again. And down to the basket we go. Alright, I'll probably do the basket in a different colour. Probably a chocolate or something. So that's going to work. The chains will be done in this colour and in that style. So that's a plan. I've got a little bit of cotton left, so I might just scoot down that other side. So this video is all about planning out the colours and, you know, different stitches I'll use in all of this. And down we go again. Yep, that's good. Had an idea for this doily too that stands straight up. I thought about embroidering a birdhouse into it. It's a bit of a thought rolling around in the back of the brain. You know, one that's on a post. Goodness knows if these chains are straight and heading in the right direction. Or will it look like the basket's swinging in the breeze a little? Come on, in you go. Some thick fabric there. That's got it. Beaut. And down to the end. Of the thread. There we go. Now I can, finish that off. Great. Well, I'm going to say that that actually assisted me, to be honest. Let's have another look at this thing. Thread Magic Conditioner and Protectant and Thread Cutter. Ooh, there's the thread cutter. There's a little blade there. Well, I remember buying it, then it sat on my table for a while, and then I finally took it out of its packaging. And it actually worked. Heaven forbid. All right, I'm going to put this colour aside because that's a definite for the chains. Now the basket itself, we don't want it to be too dark, but I'm thinking maybe I do. Let's try this guy. feel like I'm going to need at least 3 threads, maybe even 4. That's 3. Might do 4 so it's nice and chunky. I'm going to try and just, so I've got a shorter piece that I've added to the longer piece. Let's run it through the conditioner. Why not? Something new. Let's get it down this end. Oh, it is another thing to do when you just want to get stitching, isn't it? You know, goodness me, what am I trying to achieve here? Let's trim that. I'm being miserly. Fancy using such a small piece of thread. There we go. We've run it through the magic thread conditioner. That end doesn't feel. It definitely combines it. Like there's something on it I can feel. So I hope it's not going to stain my work. The thread's more settled, if that makes sense. Okay. Alrighty, so what are we going to do for a stitch with this guy? What are we going to do? Do we couch it? Gets a nice straight line, gets a good curve. Do we chain stitch it? And it'll look too similar to that. Thinking we're going to couch it, and I might attempt to couch back on myself. Let me get myself into position here. Yeah, gives a nice straight line, and then the little stitch that's going to secure it down gives it a little interest as well. And of course you could use a different colour. My Jessie Chorley panel that I did, a lot of the couching was 2 completely different colours. So there'd be like a blue or a red, and then a white thread would hold it down. And then you do some close together, those little stitches, some further apart, and it just gave such an interesting texture to it. We don't need anything as fancy for this, because remembering we're trying to maintain that feel of this piece being done back in the 80s and 90s when doilies were a big thing, in the 70s. So I sort of want to keep it simple. I can't get too creative. I do have a layer of additional fabric there, similar to the background, if not very, very similar. And that's just helped give me that puffiness that's sort of a little bit more dimensional. Otherwise it would have been very flat if I just embroidered the basket. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That will work. So I'll be couching the basket. And I'll end that off because I don't think I've got enough to go around the base. Well, I might. I wonder. Let's just come back up there on that end. Yeah, I'm going to. But what I need to do is set us up with another thread. I'll give us a little bit extra length. And we want 4. Let's run it through the magic elixir. There we go. Can just feel it. doesn't really leave a residue on my fingers, but I can feel it. It certainly is getting my threads under control. Nothing like trying something new, hey? I guess if you were a, you know, professional embroiderer and you're putting your pieces into the local show, you would want your fibres to sit really, really flat, especially crewel work. And my guess is this product would be very much in your work. I'm not aiming for that quality. Well, one should always aim for quality, but you know what I mean. If you were wanting your threads and fibres to all sit very flat, this would do the trick. It really would. So I'm just finding the line of the little basket. I better glance up at the camera. Can you see? Yes, you can. Excellent. So on we go. Such a pretty colour, this chocolate thread. I tend to use it a lot, more so than black. I haven't used black for years, I don't think. I always sort of tend towards, even when I do journal making on the sewing machine, this chocolate tone would be the thread of choice. It's just got more of a warmer tone than black. So many layers. Yeah, that's good. It's got a nice bulbous feeling about it. Plus it was fun to collage instead of just do embroidery. At the end of the day, it is slow stitch and we want to create some texture and interest to our pieces. Plus it sort of looks like I've cut it out of a doily and added it in, which is the theme through the whole piece. Coming up that side, a couple little stitches. I feel like I need to pull the pliers out as well. I was watching Rachel's video and she had her pliers out. I don't think I'm at that thickness yet, but boy, it feels a bit that way. Our fingers certainly are getting a workout. I'm trying to have a little break between each one, you know, just an evening off, just to make sure that I don't do damage to joints and things. It's all about the long journey, not a short injured journey. Now I'm going to bring that thread on the needle back up over here, ready to come down there, but I do need to finish off this little guy. So I'm hoping I can thread him up and tuck him back in there and finish him off. Okay, so I'm hoping I can then pick up this thread here and couch back up on myself. I don't know if that's technically the way you should be couching, but when it's a short distance, I sort of seem to do that. And when it's the same coloured thread, I feel like it seems to work. looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to come back up. That's it. I feel like the silicone has disappeared from my thread and it's got fluffy again. Lovely. So bring one down through the center there. That will work. I wonder if I've got a doily that I could cut some elements out of to create the internals of a basket flower arrangement. It might be too bulky. Could spend hours trying to create something where I could have just stitched it. Okay, and now the other strap. I'll keep going because I want to just use this thread. Bring it down to the same point. Gee, I hope I'm on camera, guys. Lovely. One basket. So that will work a treat. So I can put that thread aside for the other two baskets. Let's get this knotted off properly. Okay. Yeah, the thread's definitely fluffy again, so it doesn't hold the silicone to any great length of time. So the smaller the piece of thread, probably the better. I'm just going to wrap that on there. Okay, so those two are decided. Pop them in there. Now, let's have a look at some of these flowers. I had plans of doing like a little rosette. Where's some thread colours? What could we use? Maybe a lavender. Let's have a look. Three threads. I sort of had in mind a bit of a rose curved piece. Let's have a go. I really need probably a photo reference. Surely this can't be too hard. You watch me jiggy this up. I think we'll get a bit of dark purple in the centre. I could do bullion stitch. But that's yeah, I might try it. It'll take forever, but it would look pretty if I could do some form of loopy petal-like structure. I bet I'm going to be cursing this in a few hours' time. I'm going to have to turn my piece. Can't really see the purple real well. I'll keep going. Might be a case of it just needs to bulk up a bit. Being that it's the center basket, probably wouldn't hurt to have something a little bit more special, for want of a better word. Having that red thread behind is probably not helping my cause too, because it's sort of intruding with the purple colour. I'm going to try and tuck that next stitch in behind there. I'm sort of just trying to go round like a leaf of a cabbage, you know, sort of interconnecting, getting a little bit longer wrap than what is needed to lay it flat so that it stands a little bit. Does that make sense? Come here, needle. Whoops, gone through my stitch. They don't have to be crazy big in size, I don't think. As long as it sort of gives the impression of a circular. And then I could probably come back. I sort of had visions in my head as I picked up that purple that there would be a dark center to this little flower. Is it technically a grub rose? Probably not. Is it something? Probably yes. Let's get another one around. Try and encompass that there. But I think it will work. My go-to would be to put a bead in the center, but I haven't picked up any beads for this project yet. So I don't really, that's very long. I don't think it needs to be that long. It's a bit of a by eye thing. Too short. Split my thread on the needle, that's no good. What's going on? That's better. Come on. There we go. Little lavender, grub rose. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but so that one stitch has moved to the center, so I won't need a little. So how many do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to end that off because it seems to have settled and found a little spot for it to sit. So I'm not going to tempt fate by doing another lap around the perimeter of that little flower, but that's a definite. So let me trim. So where did I put that purple thread? here. So that's going to go into my box of tricks for when I'm on the couch. Now, the leaves. I think I want something a bit stronger in colour. Make it pop a little bit. Let's have a play with this. This is a crochet cotton. It's not actually a DMC stranded cotton. Let's thread that up and have a little play. What could we do? I might make the leaves substantial. I've drawn quite a large. Maybe we do. Let's get ourselves into position here. Maybe we do a bit of a fly stitch leaf. I don't know. Let's have a play. Do we do it together, the stitch, or do we separate it? Good thing about leaves is you can really do anything. You don't have to be too... I need to take my glasses off. I can see just coming back up to the top and then scoot across here back to that center point and pull in a little stitch, anchor it off back up to that top point. I hope you guys can see. Back down to that bottom to create the Y. Finish the little stitch. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Happy with that. Gosh, I've created so much work for myself just here in one little basket. Little grub stitches and the like. Oh, but that's okay. What else would I be doing with my life, hey? That stitch is a bit wayward. But anyway, that's leaves for you. They're not perfect. That's my story. Finishing it off. At the same time, bringing my needle up there. And now I'm starting to get the bottom shape of this leaf, sort of sneaking it back to the base of that flower. There we go. One leaf. Can you see him? Can you see a bit of a shape about him? Yeah, that'll work. Can pop another one out that side, do a few down the pot, a couple more grub stitches. I might even be adventurous and bring in another purple. So I'll put that green in there. Okay, let's, how much thread have I got? Oh, I've got a little bit left. Maybe I should carry on and use it. How are we going for time? We got time. Let's put another little leaf. Only a little leaf. No two leaves are ever the same on my work. don't have a lot of thread left, so that's probably a good thing. Probably get one more stitch. Okay, and finish. It's a good green, that one. I believe it's a crochet cotton. I've written the word crochet on the little tab. So I would say they've come as a pack of colours that I've bought probably from, oh, I don't know. Not going to say because I'm not sure. So I'll just forget that thought. I'm not sure where I got that from. Oh, it's a DMC crochet cotton 581. There you go. That was better. Okay, so that will work. Some little purple flowers in amongst some green leaves. Now, that's easy. That's just going to be stars. How are we going for time? We've got 41 minutes. I feel like I need a bright pinky sort of tone. Is that bright enough or a bit muddy? Maybe even a variegated thread. Could we be daring? Yeah, I'm gonna, whether the variegation and whether the variegation happens quick enough for me, I don't know. But the other thing is sometimes, gee, that's wriggly. It's very synthetic-y feeling. Sometimes a French knot or colonial knot in the centre gives you a little bit of direction. Let's put some orange in, or yellow. Yellow, orange. No, orange. Let's be bold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little French knot in first, just to give me a point of reference for my points. Probably need to break this down a little bit. It's going to be a bit thick otherwise. So let's go down to 3. We only want a hint of orange, not a blob of orange. Probably should be using yellow, but I think the orange and the red will be quite striking. Sort of like a fuchsia, those sorts of colour tones. They're always so bright and... Oh, see, this thread's flipping around everywhere, so I am going to use the Magic thread conditioner because I'm thinking it's really good. Look at that. Lovely. There you go. I bet there's some of you out there going, Corrine, welcome to the party. The girl is late to the party, but she's got here and she's ready. That's what you're thinking. Or, I know what you're thinking, I really should pull that thread conditioner out of the cupboard. It's been there for so long and I just haven't used it. That's what you're thinking. Okay, let's get... Oh, goodness me, now I've got... It's a hot mess today. No, it's not. It's just usual. 3, yep. Yeah, I'm thinking this rectangular doily here, a birdhouse in there would be rather cute. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3. So stay tuned for a future birdhouse. I might go over here. You know what I've done? I've caught the fabric. Look at that. That was right. Very talented. I need some more conditioner. You guys must be just cacking yourselves laughing. Starting to think that's pretty cool. Makes me look very professional too, I think. I think some of these professional embroiderers would be using that all the time, because I can see my threads are sitting really flat, and for that beautiful work that you would frame that needs to look, you know, I'm gonna need a bigger needle. Why am I struggling with this little needle? Because it's the only needle I have. The other needles are with other pieces. Yeah, I think if you were doing crewel work and you needed your threads to sit beautifully, that would be the magic piece. You know what I really need to get in place before I get too far ahead of myself here is the actual basket. So my dots are in the right, my knots are okay at the moment, but I do need to consider the fact that I haven't got, so I can't get too far ahead of myself here. I really need that basket stitched in, but the dots will be fine, or the knots, not the dots, the knots. It's the next thread going in would be a problem, because it would need to sit over the basket. So I might just do some stitches up. Let's end that off. I can always come back and add more if I feel like the plant needs to be a little bit more in the actual pot. But I think by the time I put in, so this is the red thread, do I have a knot? And it's variegated, so this will be a bit of fun. Let's aim for a couple of these stitches here. Come on, in you go. Okay, let's go. What I might do too is I will probably iron out the design and redraw these strokes exactly where I want them. That way I don't have to think too hard, because some of them are a little bit all over the place. Gee, this thread's bouncing around a bit. So what's its story? It's really slippery. Premium embroidery cotton. There's a brand there. EDMAR 075. I think I picked this up in a selling out end of line type scenario. It's very bouncy. Is that a good way to describe it? Beautiful thread sliding through the fabric beautifully. The variegation is going to be very pretty, I think, as long as it happens quick enough, but it'll be a combination, don't you not? It'll be a combination of pinks and reds. I might just do one more stitch, and I'm going to need to stay in a circular fashion around the flower, otherwise it'll throw the variegation out and it'll look a bit odd. But probably only because I'll notice it, no one else will. I have to keep in mind I've got a chain stitch coming down there for that basket. So far I haven't got into the reds. These are crazy bright flowers. This thread would make beautiful bullion stitches because it's got a bit of thickness about it too. I'll put that stitch in, but the chain will come over it. Don't you not? Don't you? Yep. Oh, don't disintegrate. Okay, next time don't cut a long piece. Just I probably should have gone up there with a stitch. I took a stitch down to the next flower, but I really need another stitch at the top. Okay, let's come back up. Oh, I feel cack-handed today. Let's come back up here to the top and just put one more stitch in there. It's starting to change colours now, which is good. Ever so subtly, but it is. The next flower would be quite bright. I can get a couple stitches in, but I've got to really do that the basket. But let's just do a few sneaky stitches here. And then I might have to just stop and get that couched in basket. Yep, that's going to be really pretty. I might end it because I'm not going to lose much of the red if I just do a little knot. Then I can pick up that red thread and carry on once I get that basket stitched in. That won't be too much and they'll be really red by then. Okay. Let's just save that and put that in my little basket of threads. Okay, and as for the leaves in there, I'll probably just do some little lazy daisy stitches around the perimeter, and I'm thinking of doing quite a strong green like that one. I think that'll sort of handle those reds and oranges, so I'll pop that in my little box for later. Oops. Now the last basket, that should be relatively easy because it's going to be quite a viney piece. So let's have a look at the greens. And maybe I'll do something quite green with very few flowers on it. Something probably along those lines. And it'll be like a back stitch, I'm thinking. This is the crochet thread. And then along the vine, once I get all of the green in, I might just go through with a little French knot to make it look like there's flowers in it, you know. I could couch it, but I'll just try this first and just do some little stitches. We're running out of time. We're coming up to the time, so we should have a pretty good plan here now. Yeah, this will be running, not running stitch, back stitch could have even done satin stitch, but I don't think it needs to be that bulky. So there's like little curly bits coming off of it. Yeah. Roughly follow my lines. Once again, I need to get that basket stitched in. Then I can really get into it. I might just grab that little twig up there before I get too far. Just do a little curl in it. So it bends around the corner a little bit. Bit of movement. Goodness knows what these plants are. Okay, so there's a little curve. Yeah, this will work a treat. But I will, like I said, probably iron out those strokes, because the strokes were just sketches to give me a bit of a plan of attack. So I think I will. It's pretty logical at the moment. I just want my plant to look like a plant. So far, I think that seems logical. I will have a chain stitch coming down. Might try and tuck it behind this little piece. Can always sneak a thread in under a thread that's sort of already in position. I just do a little curl at the end of that. Once again, the basket ridge should be really there. Talk about make it hard for myself, but that's all right. I might just put a little stitch up here to give that curl coming back the other direction. And then, like I said, I think I will do some little maybe even colonial knots, just a tiny little knot, like tiny little buds, but we'll see. It won't be anything major in the way of, yeah, that's pretty good. That vine, I could even creep it up the chain a little bit. We'll see. But that's going to work. So that's a third green. That's good. We got 3 different greens, 3 different pots. So that's the 3 greens, a dark, a medium, and a very, very dark. A variegated thread. We've got our little purple flower. I might just pop in another purple. I sort of feel like we could lift it a little bit. Just probably a bit bright, but it might be better. But I'll pop them in as well, just as an option. Okay, we have a plan of attack. Oh, there is a plant up here. Up in the sky is another one. I wonder if we do something in the blues. Maybe we muck around with some blues up in here. Little knots changing colours, and then a green. Don't mind that combination. I'll pop it in my little box of tricks as potentially the little plant that's coming down the top here. Yep, very good. And as I was saying, I'm thinking along the lines of nestling in here a birdhouse, actually. Just got to have a bit of a think about the design and that. I did find one in one of my books. This one here, Hatched and Patched. And there was a birdhouse that I've never stitched. Look at the veggie patch. That would have been easy, wouldn't it? Yeah, where is she? Oh, I love that too. I love how her butt's, let me go up a bit on the camera. I love how her butt's sticking out. I wonder if the girls will give us a fruit tree, like an orchard. That would be good for that. There, this birdhouse. I like how we got some birds, and that would slide up the centre of that piece. Is what I'm thinking. Anyway, that's another day. Just an idea. All right, everyone. Look after yourselves, and I'll get into this, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.